On a hot, dusty afternoon, I strolled through the bustling market of Nnaka village. Vendors shouted, goats bleated, and the scent of spices filled the air. I was just passing by the pottery stall when I felt a tap on my shoulder. Turning around, I saw an old man with a weathered face dressed in tattered clothes. His eyes, however, sparkled with an unusual brightness. "Good afternoon, sir," I greeted, trying to sound respectful. "Good afternoon, young man," he replied, his voice deep and soothing. "I have been watching you. I can see you are a good person. Here, take this." He handed me a small leather pouch. "What's this?" I asked, my curiosity piqued. "Open it," he urged. Inside, I found several gold coins shimmering in the sunlight. My eyes widened in disbelief. "Why are you giving this to me?" I stammered. "Use it wisely," he said, a mysterious smile playing on his lips. "You will know what to do when the time comes." With that, he turned and disappeared into the crowd, leaving me standing there, bewildered. With the gold coins clinking in my pocket, I found myself drawn back to the pottery stall. The vendor, a stout woman named Nnaka, welcomed me warmly. "Ah, Chike, what brings you here today?" she asked, her eyes twinkling with curiosity. "I'm not sure, Nnaka," I replied, still thinking about the old man. "I feel like I should buy something from you." She laughed heartily. "Well, we have many beautiful pots. What are you looking for?" As I scanned the array of pots, one in particular caught my eye. It was an intricately designed clay pot, with patterns that seemed to dance and shift as I looked at it. I felt an inexplicable connection to it. "That one," I said, pointing to the pot. Mama Nnaka's expression changed. She looked at me with a mix of surprise and concern. "Are you sure, Chike, that pot is special?" "Special how?" I asked, intrigued. "It's said to have a mind of its own. Some even say it can talk," she whispered, glancing around as if afraid someone might overhear. I felt a shiver run down my spine. "I'll take it," I decided, handing her a few gold coins. "Be careful, Chike," she warned as she wrapped the pot. "And remember, it's not just any pot." Back home, I placed the pot in my kitchen. It looked out of place among my simple utensils, its patterns almost seeming to glow in the dim light. That night, as I prepared to cook dinner, I felt a strange sensation. The pot was warm to the touch, and I could swear I heard a faint humming. "Who's there?" I called out, feeling foolish. "Just me," a voice replied. I nearly dropped the pot in shock. "Who are you?" I stuttered. "I am the pot," the voice said simply, "and you, Chike, are now my owner." I stared at the pot, bewildered. How is this possible? "I have been enchanted," the pot explained. "I can help you if you treat me well, but beware, I can also cause trouble if you cross me." I swallowed hard. "I will take good care of you," I promised. The pot seemed to shimmer in approval. "Then let us cook together, Chike." Over the next few weeks, life with the talking pot was nothing short of extraordinary. Every meal I prepared was delicious, far better than anything I had ever cooked before. The pot would offer advice, suggesting spices and techniques that transformed my simple ingredients into culinary masterpieces. Word spread quickly, and soon, people from all over the village came to taste my cooking. My small home became a bustling hub of activity, filled with laughter and the aroma of mouthwatering dishes. One evening, as I cleaned up after another successful meal, the pot spoke again. "Chike, you have done well, but remember, true kindness and humility are what make a person great." I nodded, taking the pot's words to heart. "I understand. Thank you for everything." The pot's patterns seemed to dance more brightly. "There is more to come, Chike, but for now, rest. Tomorrow brings new adventures." Not everyone was pleased with my newfound success. My neighbor, Obina, grew increasingly envious. One day, he confronted me as I was tending to my garden. "Chike, what is your secret?" he demanded, his eyes narrowing. I hesitated, unsure of how much to reveal. "I have been blessed," I said carefully. "Blessed? By what or by whom?" Obina pressed. "Just blessed," I repeated, not wanting to involve the pot. Obina's frustration was palpable. "I will find out, Chike, and when I do, I will take what is rightfully mine." I watched him storm away, a knot of worry forming in my stomach. The pot had warned me about trouble, and I feared this was just the beginning. Late one night, I awoke to the sound of shuffling footsteps in my kitchen. My heart pounded as I crept towards the noise, peeking through the doorway. There, in the dim light, was Obina, attempting to steal the pot. "Stop!" I shouted, rushing forward. Obina whirled around, his eyes wild. "I need it, Chike. I need its magic." "Understand," I said, trying to reason with him. "The pot isn't just a tool, it's alive, and it must be treated with respect." "Enough!" Obina roared, grabbing the pot and running out of the house. I chased after him, but he was too fast. Desperation clawed at me as I watched him disappear into the night with my precious pot. The next morning, I was awakened by frantic knocking at my door. It was Mama Nkichi, her face pale with fear. "Chike, come quickly. Something terrible has happened to Obina," she cried. I followed her to Obina's house, where a crowd had gathered. Inside, I found Obina, sitting on the floor, clutching the pot. His face was twisted in terror. "It won't stop talking," he wailed. "It keeps telling me terrible things." I approached cautiously. "Pot, what have you done?" The pot's voice was calm and measured. "Obina stole me, Chike. He did not earn my trust. I have shown him the consequences of his actions." Obina looked up at me, tears streaming down his face. "Please, Chike, make it stop." I sighed, feeling a mix of pity and frustration. "Pot, will you forgive him?" The pot was silent for a moment. "Only if he returns me to you and promises to never steal again." Obina nodded fervently. "I promise, just make it stop." With that, I took the pot from him. The pot's pattern seemed to calm, and Obina's sobs subsided. "Thank you, Chike," he whispered, gratitude and relief in his eyes. Word of the pot's magic and Obina's ordeal spread quickly through the village. People were both awed and wary of the mysterious pot. They came to me for advice, seeking blessings and guidance. One evening, the village chief, Chief Okiki, visited my home. He was a tall, imposing man with a kind but stern expression. "Chike," he began, "your pot has brought great fortune and caution to our village. We wish to honor you and your magical pot." I bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Chief Okiki. It is the pot that deserves the credit." The chief smiled. "Indeed. But you, Chike, have shown wisdom and humility in handling its power. We have decided to host a feast in your honor." With Obina's theft behind me, I continued to rely on the pot for guidance. The pot's advice wasn't limited to cooking. It began offering brilliant business ideas that transformed my modest life into one of prosperity. "Chike," the pot suggested one evening, "why not start a catering business? Your cooking is renowned, and people will pay handsomely for your services." I took the pot's advice to heart, and soon I was catering for weddings, festivals, and village celebrations. My reputation grew, and so did my wealth. The villagers marveled at my success, but not everyone was happy for me. Jealous whispers spread, and envy festered among some. One such person was Oge, a beautiful girl I had admired from afar for years. Oge had always been surrounded by suitors, and she never paid much attention to me. But that changed when she heard of my newfound prosperity. One sunny afternoon, as I was overseeing the preparations for a large wedding feast, Oge approached me. Her smile was radiant, and her eyes sparkled with interest. "Chike, it's been too long," she said, her voice as sweet as honey. "I've heard of your success. You're doing so well for yourself." I couldn't deny the flutter in my chest at her attention. "Thank you, Oge. It's all thanks to some good fortune and hard work." She laughed, a sound that sent shivers down my spine. "Good fortune indeed. Maybe we should catch up. How about dinner at your place tonight?" I hesitated, remembering the pot's warnings about humility and sincerity. But Oge's charm was irresistible, and I found myself agreeing. That evening, as I prepared dinner with the pot's help, it spoke up. "Chike, be cautious. Oge's intentions may not be as pure as they seem." I frowned. "What do you mean?" "Her sudden interest in you coincides with your success. True love does not seek wealth," the pot advised. I sighed, conflicted. "I will be careful." Over the next few weeks, Oge and I grew closer. She seemed genuinely interested in me, and I dared to hope that her feelings were sincere. However, the pot's warnings lingered in my mind. One day, as Oge and I walked through the market, she asked about my business secrets. "Chike, you must tell me how you became so successful. Everyone in the village is talking about it." I smiled, choosing my words carefully. "I've had a bit of help and some good advice. It's nothing too extraordinary." She pouted, clearly unsatisfied with my vague answer. "Oh, come on, Chike. You can trust me." That evening, as I cooked dinner, the pot spoke again. "Chike, Oge's curiosity is not innocent. She seeks to exploit your success." I felt a pang of disappointment. What should I do? Watch her closely. She will reveal her true intentions, the pot advised. One night, as Oge stayed over, I pretended to sleep while keeping an eye on her.